Hello and welcome to Module 9 of Part 1 of the Cōnsilium Aquīs Sulis course on ETCS. This module explains the process for issuing ETCS movement authorities and covers the following topics: conditions for issuing a movement authority, associating a train with a route, extending a Level 2 full supervision movement authority, issuing a Level 2 movement authority to a train not in full supervision, issuing a Level 2 movement authority with shifted location reference, shortening a movement authority. ETCS Level 1 MAs are issued on reading bullies groups associated with signals. Issue of an ETCS Level 2 MA by an RBC may be triggered by a request to clear a signal or block marker or other change in aspect level conditions, the train reporting itself within a specific section of track, or the train requesting an MA. The RBC can instruct the train to request an MA a specific time before indication of the end of its current MA, a specific time before MA section or limit of authority speed timers expire, or with specific periodicity in time. An MA for a route should only be given to a train that will enter that route if it proceeds forward. With conventional signalling, this is achieved by physically placing signals at the start of the signalling block sections to which they apply. Even so, there is a risk of read-across or read-through, whereby a driver reads the wrong signal. In ETCS Level 1, MAs are issued by bullies groups, physically located at the start of the route to which they apply. As these bullies groups can only be read by trains entering the routes, there is little risk of the MA going to the wrong train. The situation is more complicated in ETCS Level 2, as MAs are issued over radio. The train receiving a movement authority could be anywhere in the world. The RBC must therefore ensure that it only issues MAs to the correct trains. If a train already has a full supervision FSMA up to the start of the route, then this can simply be extended into the route. The RBC can infer from the conditions for issuing the original MA that the train will enter the route if it proceeds forward. As this MA is in FS mode, the RBC can also infer that there are no other trains or obstructions before the start of the route. If a train is not already in FS mode, some other means of associating it with the route is required, such as track ahead free. When the train is located close to, facing in the direction of, and on a path to the route entrance, the driver is asked to confirm track ahead free. This the driver does if there is no other train or obstruction before the start of the route, marked by a signal or ETCS stop marker. Alternatively, the RBC can automatically associate a train with a route when the first train detection section is unoccupied and the train reports its position on a path that leads to the route, facing in the direction of the route and sufficiently close to the start of the route that there can be no obstructions in front of it. A further challenge is encountered when issuing an MA to a train that has changed direction, as its LRBG is then in front of it. As ETCS does not support negative distance from LRBGs, it is not possible to define a complete MA from the front of the train. This is overcome by the use of an MA with shifted location reference. MA parameters are defined not from the LRBG, but from a location, a defined distance on the approach to the LRBG. An ETCS MA can be shortened by simply issuing a new MA whose EOA is on the approach to that of the previously held MA. Replacement of a signal or ETCS block marker or loss of aspect level interlocking conditions for a route can trigger issue of a shortened MA. However, there is no guarantee that a train will be able to stop before the EOA or even the SVL of a shortened MA. In ETCS Level 1, the shortened MA is received when a train passes over the Balice group associated with the next signal. In ETCS Level 2, the shortened MA is issued via radio, typically within a few seconds of the conditions that triggered it. ETCS Level 2 supports a further mechanism for shortening MAs, known as cooperative shortening. Rather than a new MA, the RBC sends a request to shorten MA to an ETCS onboard unit. Depending on whether the train is able to stop before the end of the new MA, its onboard unit either accepts or rejects this request. If the onboard unit accepts the cooperative shortening request, it advises the RBC accordingly and supervises the new MA. If the onboard unit rejects the cooperative shortening request, it advises the RBC accordingly and continues to supervise the old MA. In summary, movement authorities can be issued on reading ETCS Level 1 Baileys groups, changes in aspect level conditions, or triggered by requests or train position reports in Level 2. In conventional signalling and ETCS Level 1, trains are associated with routes by the physical location of the devices issuing movement authorities. In ETCS Level 2, the RBC has to associate a train with a route before issuing it with a movement authority. If the train is in full supervision mode, its movement authority can simply be extended. In other modes, additional assurance is needed that there are no obstructions in front of the train and that it will enter the route if it proceeds forward. Where trains change direction, movement authorities with shifted location reference are required as the last relevant Balice group is in front of the trains. Movement authorities can be shortened in response to replacement of a signal or ETCS stop marker or loss of aspect level interlocking conditions. In ETCS Level 2, movement authorities can also be cooperatively shortened, whereby the new movement authority is only accepted if the receiving train can stop before its end of authority.